Welcome. This is Coach Dorf. We're in section 2.8, and we're going to look at the following homework-like example. Here, we're given a graph of three functions that's shown to the right. There's function A that's in blue, there's function B that's in green, and there's function C that's in red. One of these represents a function f, one represents the derivative of f, and one represents the second derivative of f. We're supposed to determine which is which. All right, so to solve this problem, one of the first things that I would look at is to see, do any of the curves cross the x-axis? And I noticed that the blue curve A does cross the x-axis at that purple point there. That is significant because that means the value of A is 0. Now, if A represents the derivative of a function, then the function we're taking the derivative of would have to have a flat or a horizontal tangent line above that point. And if I look above there, that's what I have here. All right. On the green line, the slope of the tangent line there is a flat line, it's a horizontal line, and that slope would be 0. So that would suggest that if I took the function b, the one in green, that its derivative is going to be a. Let's check to make sure that that's right. So let's look at the curve b. So if I start at b and I look at the tangent lines here, first of all, on the far left, if I take a tangent line there, that slope is going to be positive. Then it becomes 0 at that circled part. And then to the right of it, it becomes negative. And at the end, it's still negative, but close to 0. So that means the values there of the slope are positive, then 0, then negative, and then still negative, but close to 0. Well, that matches the values of A. Look at the graph A. First, it starts out above the x-axis. So that means the values of A are positive. All right, it increases, and then it comes back down until I get to the circle part of A, and that's where it equals 0. So it's positive, it's above the x-axis for all those values. That matches the slope of the tangent lines for B. Then after the circle part, the values of A are negative, and they stay negative the whole way through as I go farther to the right, although they get close to 0. That matches the values of the slope of the tangent lines for B, because after the circle part on B, the slopes of the tangent lines are negative, although they get close to 0. So this tells me that the derivative of B is going to equal A. So whatever B is, if I take its derivative, I'm going to get A. All right. So let's see. Then let me rewrite that. I'm going to rewrite that this way. So the derivative of B equals. All right. So how does C fit in here? Well, let's look at the curve C. So if I look at here, I'm going to draw in some tangent lines for C. All right. Those are in orange. Hopefully you can see those. What happens here? So first of all, the tangent line, if I start at the left for C, it's positive value. Then it increases in positive value. Then it's still positive, but then it gets closer to 0. So is there a curve here that has always positive values? Means is it always above the x-axis? Yeah, that's letter B. B is always above the x-axis. So again, if I look at the tangents to the curve C, and I look at the slope of those tangent lines, the first orange line, it has a positive value. That matches B, it's positive. Then the slope of the tangent line of the orange to the curve C, that's increasing. It's larger positive value. That happens with B. And then it's still positive, but it decreases. So it's getting close to 0, but it's still positive. That matches with the values of B. So that tells me that the derivative of C is going to equal B. So how does this all translate then into a final answer? Well, if I start with C equals F, then I know that the derivative of C is going to equal B. So that's going to give me that the derivative of C, which would be F prime, would be B. So B is going to be F prime. And then we said the derivative of B is A. So if I take the derivative of B, that's going to be F double prime. That's going to be equal A. And so that is my answer. Hope that helps.